It doesn't add up, a video presentation from Calendar McDowell. The Mail on Sunday of October the 25th, 2020 reported claims that porpoises, dolphins and whales are under threat from acoustic deterrent devices, which have been branded as sonic torture by campaigners who are calling for a ban. They say that ads cause temporary and permanent hearing damage. The noise also displaces them from foraging and nursery habitats and generally disturbs and harasses the animals. Amongst the campaigners are the Coastal Communities Network, who say that the use of ads should cease immediately. Is the use of ads the real concern of the Coastal Communities Network, or is it part of a more general attack on the salmon farming industry? Acoustic deterrent devices are not the only source of noise in the marine environment. There's an extensive list of noise sources, including ships and boats, echo sounders and sonar, seismic guns, pile driving, explosive charges, dredging, drilling and wind and wave power generation. Some of these, such as seismic air guns, are used around the clock and generate noise that carries hundreds of miles. Yet the Coastal Communities Network are only targeting ads and solely those used by salmon farmers. Yet, acoustic deterrent devices are used widely by other industries. They are used to deter marine mammals away from activities such as pile driving, including for wind farms, a sector that the UK government wants to massively expand. Ads are also used to keep marine animals away from explosive detonation, from colliding with boats and tidal turbines, from both commercial and recreational fisheries. Different animals hear different frequencies. We're all familiar with dog whistles that humans cannot hear. Cetaceans are no different, with most porpoises, dolphins and toothed whales hearing high or very high frequencies. By comparison, baleen whales use very low frequencies. The differences between minke and killer whales is apparent from the images of sound waves recorded by the US National Oceanographic and Atmospheric Administration. These are the sound graphs for rissos and bottlenose dolphins, and for white-beaked and short-beaked dolphins, and for the harbour porpoise, and finally for the two species of seal, the common and the grey seal. The way that deterrents work can be illustrated by the mosquito deterrent, which is used to prevent antisocial behaviour in areas where young people congregate. Like the dog whistle, most members of the public are unable to hear this deterrent. It is very selective in its operation. Not all seal scarers are designed to be used on salmon farms. OSC market theirs to encourage marine animals, including seals, to stay away from drilling and pile driving projects. The company states that the use of ads during offshore wind farm construction around Germany is mandatory. Critics have recorded ads in action at the point of source. The latest ads operate at a limited range of frequencies outside the hearing range of non-target cetacean species like porpoises and dolphins. They also use thermal imaging to switch on the acoustic deterrent only when a threat is specifically detected near the salmon pens. Whilst critics condemn ads, research shows they're not only effective but should be welcomed. BBC Wildlife magazine highlighted how fishermen concerned about the deaths of 1,000 harbour porpoises caught in gill nets around the UK were given pingers and found them to be highly effective. Yet when they applied for a licence, it was refused on the grounds that the noise could disturb protected species, even though it could reduce this lethal bycatch. Under EU rules, pingers are mandatory in vessels over 12 metres, but these represent only 2% of all boats that use static nets. Perhaps the critics of ads should be asked what they would prefer to happen, dead porpoises or deterred cetaceans. A study of the use of ads to protect minke whales from noise impacts during the offshore wind farm construction found that this method of deterrent was extremely effective, with all whales tracked moving out of the affected area. Cetaceans are regularly sighted near to salmon farms, such as this minke whale. Dolphins regularly ride the bow waves of salmon farm workboats. They are welcome visitors. The law states that it is an offence to deliberately or recklessly disturb any dolphin, porpoise or whale. This is a clear example of reckless disturbance. Taking tourists to watch whales and dolphins could be said to deliberately disturbing these animals. The approach is very similar to hunting, but without the final blow. The Coastal Communities Network note that many fish farms currently operate without ads, and thus, they conclude, there's no need for them to be used. Could it be that these salmon farms do not have a local resident population of seals and thus don't need to use a deterrent? So, is this an attack on ads or on the salmon farming industry? The Coastal Communities Network's initiatives include aquaculture, not ads. Their aims include addressing industry expansion, environmental assessment, improved regulation and enforcement, farming in protected areas, wild salmonids, wrasse, cetaceans, seals, and the future of the industry. It is clear that their issue is not with ads per se, but with the industry as a whole. The Coastal Community Network states about seals that all shooting of seals by fish farmers must cease by 2020. Sadly, their concern about seals does not appear to extend to wild salmon fisheries. The River Spey management shot a seal on June 1, 2020 in order to protect their wild fish so anglers could catch them instead. Is this an attack just on the salmon industry? You can be certain that's exactly what it is.